These here are the ideal smartwatches for the little ones. These are children's watches with 4G that will allow us to keep track of our little ones, communicate with them since they can receive calls, locate them via global positioning system, and more. A great product if you have kids, younger siblings, or nephews. So if you want to check it out, you already know where to come, right here at TechGround. Alright guys, let's get started. Today's video is aimed at the little ones. This is the Agenio K9. It's a 4G smartwatch designed for kids. It's focused on children. And the purpose of the watch is for the little one to have a watch with which they can use a lot of features like games and cameras. Basically, to have a smartwatch, but so that adults, the parents, can use this watch to call them in case of an emergency, to locate them with the global positioning system, and so on. So let's start with the unboxing. In this case, they sent us 2 units so we could have them in 2 different colors, but both boxes are exactly the same. We find a white box clearly containing the watch. And besides the watch, we only have the charging cable, which connects through the pins on this watch. Just the instructions, nothing more. The thickness of this watch is 13 millimeters and its weight, let's put it here on the scale to see how much it shows, would be 48 grams. The watch has a main screen, which is active matrix organic light emitting diode, and it's 1.78 inches. With this screen, the child can access all the watch's functions. One is the front high-definition camera with a 2529 x 1944 resolution. I have to say, the camera looks surprisingly good for a children's watch. It's not for professional use, but you can take pictures with this watch. And also, the main function of this camera is for the child to be able to make video calls with their parent in case this call is made. On the right side of the watch, we find 2 buttons that allow us to access the different functions. And on the left side, we have the slot for the SIM card to insert into this watch, since it has 4G, and to use this, obviously we need a SIM card. The watch has IBER 78 certification, which will allow the child to bathe with the watch, get it wet, get it dirty, absolutely everything. And if we want to access the functions or apps that the watch has, we simply need to swipe. We unlock it, and by swiping to the right, we'll have the menu with all the functions. Here on this first page, we have the option to make calls, messages, the camera, and a magic camera, which is basically a camera with different filters and effects for kids. Then we have the gallery where we can see all the photos we've taken. And the video call option, which to access, if we want to make a video call, we first have to link it with the app. We'll get to that later. We have the friends option, which basically means if another kid has one of these watches, we can link up and chat with those other people. We have the pedometer option, which is basically a step counter, a stopwatch. The option to link to the app, which, as I said, we'll get to in a moment. And other typical apps like calendar, calculator, and so on. We also have a game option, but I have to say that the range of games they offer here seems pretty limited to me. There's only 2048. A snake-like game, which is basically like Minesweeper, and then a kind of math game, which is basically solving equations, which is pretty good for the kid to stay mentally active, but I think the range of games is a bit limited. We only have those 3 options. Let's move on to talking about the app and how to download it. We just scan the QR code and it will take us directly to the App Store to download the app. We register the user, our phone number, and then scan the QR code generated by our watch again. Once we do this, our watch will automatically appear here in the app and we'll be able to access all the settings and configurations. I want to show you some things I think are excellent for parental control, okay? First, the option to locate. As you can see, we have there on the little figure exactly where our child will be, our child, nephew, or the person wearing this watch. So we will be able to perfectly track where they are at all times. So if anything happens, we will know they are in that place. Another great thing is that it's not just for one watch. For example, if we have 3 children, we can give a watch to each one of them, and we will have 3 dots on the map knowing exactly where each of them is. Selecting the option on the left opens the chat option. Here we can chat in real time with whoever has this watch, our son, child, nephew, or anyone else. And we will be able to create family chats. For example, if we have multiple watches for different people, we can make a group chat so messages reach everyone. To make video calls, you use the app itself. That is, you do it from here and simply tap here on video call. I would start here. When the call came in and we could take it, and here we would go out. video calling each other on the watch. And then here's the last option. Well, we have more typical settings of any smartwatch. For example, we can take photos with the shutter directly from the phone. We can tap to find the watch and it will make a sound so we can find it. And options that are, as I said, pretty generic for a smartwatch. I found it to be a pretty complete product and above all, very, very useful for parents who want to keep track of their kids. Clearly, this targets young children. And also these young children can be very happy because they have a watch that's quite functional with a pretty decent camera for a smartwatch, and they'll be able to enjoy the features of a smartwatch while giving their parents peace of mind. The price of the product is 129 euros, and below in the description I'll leave you the links so you can check it out in case you're interested. So that's all guys, thank you so much for watching the video and I'll see you next time. Bye.